Today we're going to be making Thai chicken curry, and the interesting thing about curry is that if you were to go to India or Thailand, you actually wouldn't have any such thing as curry powder, or they wouldn't call it curry. It's more of an English and American dish. So let's get started. Now when you're getting started on your curry, you're going to need 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil or olive oil if you have it. 2 teaspoons of crushed red pepper flakes. You're also going to need 1 squeezed lemon, 1.5 tablespoons of garlic powder, 2 14-ounce cans of light coconut milk, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 6 teaspoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of salt. I like to use kosher. No, I like a really strong curry flavor, so I add 10 tablespoons of curry powder, but if you're more sensitive to the spice, I would use about 8. Now I like to use jasmine rice, and the way to cook rice typically is 1 part rice to 1.5 parts water, and so we're going to start measuring that out. And for this batch, we're actually making a double batch of curry, so all these things can be halved if needed, or you can, if you're feeding a lot of people, it's good to do this recipe, but if you're feeding, 2-3 people, then it's good to have this recipe. And it's always really good to rinse out your rice. Here we're using about 3 cups of water to 2 cups of rice. So once your rice has been rinsed, you're going to want to bring this to a boil. So while that's boiling, I'm going to start making our curry mixture. The first thing you're going to want to do is put your 2 cans of coconut milk. Then you're going to want to add your sugar, your salt, and your soy sauce. And you're going to want to stir that. Indian curries typically don't have the coconut milk. I believe that's what makes this Thai dish, a Thai curry. Now you're going to want to put your wok on medium-high heat. I just do, right in the middle is pretty good. This is a non-stick, by the way, so you want to do it at a little bit less heat than you normally would with the regular wok. Then you're going to add your oil. You're going to let that sit for about 30 seconds. And what that does is it brings the temperature of the oil in the pan. Make sure it's evenly coated. After about 30 seconds, you're going to want to add your spices. Now what this does is it brings out the flavor and the aroma of the spices. So we're going to add our lemon juice. Add our garlic, add our red pepper, and last our curry powder. You're going to want to stir this up. You're going to want to stir this up so it absorbs all of that, and for about 10 to 20 seconds, want this to bring out the flavor and all these spices. It's just heating them up, melding them together. But you don't want it to burn, so it smells great. It smells like they're just starting to come together. Then you're going to want to add your coconut, soy sauce, sugar, and salt mixture. And then you're going to want to stir this and bring it to a boil. It's okay if it clumps up. Once it starts heating up, it'll start dissolving. Oh, and looks like our jasmine rice is about done. You're going to want to give this a last stir. One last stir, and then cover it and let it simmer for about 15 to 18 minutes on low heat. And you're really not trying to boil the rice so much as let it steam, so that's why you put it on low right after it boils. Actually going to move my rice to the back burner. That way we can get started on our chicken. You're going to want to get some boneless, skinless chicken breast. And this one is actually organic, free range, what have you, chicken. You're going to want to actually cube it. This is about 2 pounds worth of chicken, a little bit less. Now when I make curry, I like to make big portions because I really like it, and you can eat it the next day and it'll taste just great because all the flavors will be melded. Really doesn't matter how small you cut your chicken pieces, it's really based on your preference. Alright, and we're just going to want to stir your curry. You can start seeing all your spices dissolving into the mixture. It smells wonderful. And the thing that I'm going to do in the meantime is oil my pan. Got a cast iron skillet here. Put it on about medium heat. Oil your pan. Make sure that none of that meat sticks. I'm going to throw all of our chicken into here. Now while you're stirring your coconut mixture, you want to make sure that all those little clumps that you had before are getting broken up. And to my chicken, I like to it starts cooking, I like to just, I don't really measure this, but I just like to start making the colors really pop. So I'll start adding liberally my curry powder to evenly coat the chicken. Oh, and looks like our sauce just started to boil. Now once it starts boiling, you want to make sure that you don't want to burn it or anything. So you bring it down to low heat. Oh, it just smells wonderful. Now this is really where you can doctor up your curry. It's all really based on the type of curry powder you get. There's thousands and thousands of different types of curry powder, and each person really has their own favorite. I really like, my personal favorite is Tradewinds. You can also make your own curry powder, but that's a different episode. So like this chicken's starting to cook. Add a little bit more of the curry powder. It's nice and spicy. If you want to reduce how spicy it is, I would just reduce the red pepper. If you want to make it sweeter, increase the sugar. Less sweet, decrease the sugar. Okay, by now the 15 minutes have elapsed and our rice, our jasmine rice, is looking nice and fully cooked. So, turn that off. So what I like to do is, while my chicken over here is finishing cooking, is I like to actually add quite a bit of my coconut milk and Thai curry to it. And what this does is it cooks it while it's boiling, and cooks and melts all those flavors. I'm going to add a little bit of salt because almost all meats need a little bit of salt in there just to bring out the flavor. Oh, it's looking great. It's starting to look really nice. And this dish only takes maybe about 30 or 40 minutes. Now this chicken can be a little bit tricky because you don't know if it's fully cooked because of all the spices we added. So what I just like to do is just like to grab one of the biggest pieces, pull it over to the side, cut it in half, make sure that it's nice and cooked in the middle. This one appears to be. Just pick it back up, throw it back in, and at this point I would add all of your chicken back into your curry mixture now that it's fully cooked. All that flavor, let it meld. Now here, I like to add a little bit of bell pepper, so we're just gonna open this little guy up. Clean out those insides. Just slice them up. Now we're ready to plate our dish. We got our cut up bell peppers. We got some dry roasted peanuts. If you get, I would get unsalted because everything you're already adding to it has enough salt already. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get a nice big heaping scoop of rice on there. Alright, oh look at that. And we're going to want to add our Thai curry on top. Really gets in. And you're going to want to add your bell peppers. Here and there. For a nice crunch, you're going to want to add your peanuts at the very end. Sauce. Alright, now that's all it takes to make a nice Thai curry. We got some peanuts here, bell peppers, chicken, rice. Doesn't that look good? Doesn't that look good? Now we're ready to taste our Thai curry. It's really good. You got the sweetness of the bell peppers and the crunchiness of the peanuts, as well as the really rich flavor of the coconut milk in Thai curry. Well, I just wanted to show you guys how easy it is to make a nice fancy dish for someone you love or just friends. One time I brought this to work and all of my coworkers really loved it, so I hope that you guys like it too. I will see you guys next time.